Well. Arsenal 3, Watford 2 in a game that was so close, but it shouldn't have been close, especially when you looked at how we started. But we shouldn't be surprised with how the game went because of the lack of chances that we created. Season's over, and what can I really say about the game? I mean, it was one of those ones where we all knew Arsenal fans, the players, the coaching staff. We all know the best that Arsenal could finish is eighth, which is the position that we finished in. Just isn't good enough overall, and the performance should have been better. I think that we were quite lucky to get the 3 points, to be really honest. With the amount of chances that Watford created, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, in preparation for this video, I thought, let me take a look at attacking wise. Clear cut chances. Arsenal created one clear cut chance throughout the whole of the game. Watford created five. Five. I mean, where is the creativity? What is going on? And I know people are going to say, the team is in a rebuilding stage, but this is a game that I watched where I was like, wow, I don't know how we're going to do against Chelsea. I really don't. And I'm incredibly worried because I don't think that what I saw this Sunday afternoon, I just don't feel like it's good enough. I really don't. We were just poor. And even though we got 3 goals, and I'm happy Tierney got, I believe it's his first Arsenal goal, and he got an assist as well for one of Aubameyang's goals. I expected Arsenal to dominate more. I expected us to be defensively solid, and we just wasn't. And this is why, when it comes to my match ratings, just speaks volumes. So I'm going to start with my man of the match here. I'm going to go with Emiliano Martinez. Emiliano Martinez was our best player on the pitch. He was the guy who not only was, again, his distribution has been great since he's come in. He continued with that. He had some really good saves throughout the game, which I thought was kept us in there. There was one where he had a double save near the end that stopped Danny Welbeck and Troy Deeney from potentially scoring a third and or a fourth goal within the game. He did get a yellow card, which is why I marked him down, and then he did also concede 2 goals, which is why I gave him an 8.5. But I mean, if he hadn't conceded the goal or even gotten a yellow card, I probably would have given him a 9. I thought he was definitely our best player beyond a shadow of a doubt and was pivotal for us winning this game. So well done, Emiliano Martinez. I mean, you have solidified yourself as being Arsenal's first team goalkeeper, at least until you're injured and then Bernardo comes back. So we'll see from there. So game starts off, Maitland-Niles right back. I gave him a 6. I think for me, you kind of lost track on Maitland-Niles throughout the game. Sometimes I was looking at it, I was like, oh, where's Maitland-Niles? Like, what has he been doing? And he just had a good overall solid performance. Nothing really to speak about that he did wrong. So a few good things that he did right. Had some really good clearances in the game. Had an opportunity to try to shoot, which I thought he did a really good chance, especially on his weaker foot. But I thought overall it was a good solid game by Maitland-Niles. I'm not his biggest fan. But he didn't really do anything wrong to say, it should be lower, but didn't really do anything, I would say, tremendous to him. Like, yeah, Maitland-Niles, you got to talk about him. So I'm giving him a 6 throughout this game. Then there was David Luiz, who, for me, I gave a 4. I thought David Luiz was pretty poor today. And even though he had some good moments, the old David Luiz struck again by giving away a penalty throughout this game. And I know what he was trying to do, but you can't do that. I mean, David Luiz is known for giving away penalties, and this was a game where, don't be doing that, David Luiz. Like, what are you doing? Stop it. So for me, David Luiz, I had to give a 4. I mean, our whole defense, to be honest, for the majority of part, looked relatively shaky, particularly the two centre backs. And I'm going to get to Rob Holding in a sec. But David Luiz, he's got to do better against Chelsea. He cannot be making silly mistakes like this, or else these mistakes are they're gonna cost us. They're gonna cost us, and I can't believe I'm saying this. It's gonna cost us Europa League football. Um, and right now we need to get into Europe. We need the money, or we need an opportunity to progress. And to be honest, I really do think the Europa League is our best way to finishing in that Champions League spot. Now, Rob Holding. Rob Holding in this game for me was an enigma. I watched him very closely, mainly because I'm a fan of his. I want to see him do well. And he did lots of good things. He had, I think, he had several good clearances, some good blocks that presented some goal scoring opportunities. Several times he tried to create lots of long passes from deep. A lot of times moving out of defense to try to create things, first and second half. But he also had quite a number of bad tackles. He picked up a yellow card, some mistimed tackles, a lot of times not being in the right position. But I gave him a 6. No, I gave him a 5.5 in this game, just because I felt that the positives that he made in this game slightly outshone the negatives. And it's a game that I have to say I'm worried a little bit about Rob Holding, because I want more. I want to see more from Rob Holding. But from what I saw from this game and I've seen it so far since the restart, is him and David Luiz don't really have a good communication with one another. I think the two seem really well. I definitely think that there's something up with their partnership that I don't like, which is probably why Arteta prefers Mustafi in there instead of Rob Holding, because for me, Rob Holding, something about him just does not fit right with David Luiz in that centre-back role. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Mustafi could be back for the FA Cup finals, because, yeah, it's just not looking good for Rob Holding for me. Then we had our left-back, Kieran Tierney, in the game. I thought Kieran Tierney was one of our best players on the pitch. I gave him a 7.5. Not only did he score a goal, he got an assist. The long throw, I'm just shades of Stoke, really old school type of football player. I really did like him in the game. Second half, though, I didn't think was as good as his first half, but still a good game as well. He had a couple of good clearances, a few kind of bad tackles as well, not really picking up certain runners on top of that, and maybe assisting Kolasinac a bit. But overall, I thought it was a good, solid game from him. And this is what I want for my future Arsenal captain. Again, getting back to the good old consistency, 7 out of 10 performance, getting a goal and assist in the first half, but I thought could have done maybe a bit better. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh from him with the 7.5, maybe closer to an 8, but I'm going to stick with the 7.5 throughout this game. Then we have Ceballos. So Ceballos, I thought, did very, very well throughout the game. Again, it was another performance where I thought defensively he put in a shift. He was tracking back, had lots of clearances, some really good tackles, won the ball several times, not just in the first half, but also in the second half as well. I thought he was one of the more consistent players throughout the game. A little bit more consistent for me than Tierney, who I thought was excellent in the first half, but kind of faded away a little bit in the second half. But for me, Ceballos was just consistent all the way through. And probably the reason why I came off in the second half is just Arteta trying to save him for the cup final. But I thought, for me, Ceballos was really good. A couple of bad tackles, but for the most part, the good definitely outshone the bad for me with Dani Ceballos. And I do hope and I look forward to Arsenal signing him up for another loan. Let's see what he could do with a full season under Arteta, a full season for playing regular football for Arsenal, and then let's make a decision on deciding whether we should take him on board to bring him part of the Arsenal fold. But you could tell the confidence is there with him playing for Arsenal right now. Next, there's Granit Xhaka, who, again, similar to Maitland-Niles, who I thought had a bit of an okayish game. For me, I gave Granit Xhaka in this game, I gave him a 6 overall. I thought he was okay. Again, it was one of those games where he didn't really do that many things that were wrong, even though I think he had some good blocks throughout the game, a few kind of bad passes, did pick up a yellow card in the first half. But in the second half, he did track back a lot of times, dropping into defense, did put in a shift into the team, and a lot of times he was doing lots of good work that went completely unnoticed, similar to Maitland-Niles, did lots of work that went unnoticed as well. But I need to see more from Granit Xhaka. I say this time and time again. I want more forward passes from Granit Xhaka. But besides from that, I think overall for me, I had to give him a 6. Again, it was a decent performance, but I want more. I want more in terms of the attacking side. But it was one of those games where he did put in a good shift in for the team. Next, we've got Pepe. So Pepe in the game. Sorry, Willock in the game. Let's talk about Willock first. Willock for me, I thought was okay. I gave him a 6 in this game as well. I thought he got himself in great positions, worked hard, tracked back a lot of the times. Again, similar to Maitland-Niles and Granit Xhaka, I thought there were times where he went a little bit missing, where, yes, he was in and around about trying to do things, but could have done more. Now, the only thing I'll criticize Joe Willock is sometimes his decision-making. There were times when, you had either Aubameyang or Lacazette where he could have just fed the ball in through them, but he chose to go to the wing to either Pepe or maybe it was Tierney. And I just think that sometimes it's like, just be a little bit more direct, just slip the ball into Lacazette, so maybe he could go for a shot, or slip the ball into Aubameyang. And there was a couple of times that happened that I just thought, Joe, come, give me more of an attacking threat, give me better decision making in those kind of key critical parts. And that was something I didn't see from Joe. But again, it was like it was an okay, solid performance from Joe. Nothing really spectacular from him, is what I would say, but did work hard and put in a shift for the team. Now let's talk about Pepe, who I thought overall was okay. Was okay. For me, I gave Pepe a 7 throughout of this game. I thought, his dribbling was really good. Had a good pass for Aubameyang's first goal, or one of Aubameyang's goal. Picked up some loose balls, was excellent with the free kicks. In the second half, faded away a bit, but overall, still a good solid performance from him. Again, with Pepe, I want to see more. I was thinking about before this game, I was like, for a player that we bought for 72 million, you got to expect more. And so far, I just haven't seen much of that with Pepe. And hopefully, fingers crossed, next season, he manages to do something more for the Arsenal in regards to that. Then there is Aubameyang on the left wing. I gave Aubameyang an 8. Overall, for me, first half, excellent, absolute excellent. Obviously, put away the penalty, scored the goal. Was contributing defensively, good blocks, good passing. The bicycle kick for the goal, I thought, didn't see that one coming. I think, great kind of way to be able to adapt and to score that goal. And then in the second half, he was a little poorer, but still worked hard for this team, still tracked backs overall. You could tell the team was kind of, maybe he was thinking a little bit more about himself, focusing more so on just getting the hat-trick so he could get the golden boot. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But overall, I had to give Aubameyang an 8. He was a primary reason why we won this game. Without Aubameyang, where would we be? In my opinion, somewhere trying to battle with Aston Villa and Watford to save our season. So thank you, Aubameyang, for doing so well. I thought he was really good in this game. And then finally, I gotta say Lacazette. Again, it was one of those games similar to Willock, similar to Xhaka, and similar to Maitland-Niles, where it was one of those where I felt Lacazette, he worked hard, he tracked back, he was holding up good play, making some good runs. I felt that Other players should have found him. Like, again, I talked about Willock before, but just really wasn't really showing that threat, but was still contributing towards the team to whereby, like, you can't say he had a poor game or a bad game, but overall he had an okay-ish game. Maybe if he had scored a goal, I would have kind of bumped that up to a 7, 7.5. But I thought overall it was a good, decent game for him to have. Now, I know we had some substitutes as well. I mean, there was Nketiah. I thought he was decent. Had a chance where he should have scored, but I understand why he passed it to Aubameyang. And I thought, I mean, all of our substitutes are Nketiah, Kolasinac, Nelson, Torreira. I would give all of them a 5, except for Kolasinac, who I would have given a 4, because there were times when he got completely out of position, a few kind of bad tackles. I know he had some good ones as well, but just out of position and some bad tackles where you've got to do better, Kolasinac. I mean, you could tell that he's not a defender. I don't know what's going to happen to Kolasinac at the end of now this season, whether he's still going to have a place, but you just know in the next few weeks, we're probably going to be hearing lots of rumors about lots of players going. That I'll be kind of keeping coverage on. But it's a difficult end to the season. You know, the table doesn't lie. And I've said this season after season, the table don't lie. The position is that where you deserve to finish, where you finish, is a position that you deserve to be. And Arsenal are no different. You know, I look at how far Arsenal are to actually making a difference in terms of their final position. And when you really look at it, like, we weren't far off at all. We were 3 points behind Wolves. And when you look at the fact that we lost against Aston Villa and we lost against Brighton, just in the restart, that's 6 points there. That's 6 points that would have actually put us above Tottenham and leveled with Man City, level with Leicester. But Leicester have a way better goal difference than us. So, I mean, good part is we're not far. But we're in a complete rebuilding stage right now. And I'll be keeping you guys my thoughts on this. Aubameyang, what's going to happen with him? I think a decision needs to be made on him, on Lacazette, on several things. And it's all doomed to kind of fold out from August 1st after the FA Cup final, because that's when we will know whether Arsenal are going to be playing in Europe or not. I hope we win. My prediction for that game, it's going to have to be 3-2 Arsenal. I won't lie to you. Do I think we're going to win? No, I don't think we're going to win. And I try to be positive as an Arsenal fan, but it is not looking good for Arsenal right now. Today was a poor performance. And even though we won, it was still a poor performance. The defense was all over the place. If we play 4 at the back, Chelsea are going to be chomping at the bit to get to us, because today's performance was abysmal. We should have absolutely slaughtered Watford. They're just not as good as us. But today, we only proved that we're slightly better than them. But leave your thoughts below on what you guys think. I'm going to be keeping everybody on tabs on transfers, because I know they're going to kick in as soon as August 1st comes. I mean, things for me in terms of the channel are going to go rampant. But leave your thoughts below on everything your thoughts are on the game, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.